Hi everybody, it's Coach Lori with Mindscapes Unlimited Mind Coaching Center. And today what I'd like to do is share with you the benefits of the Rapid Results Coaching Program. And the way that I'm going to do this is start out by telling you, first and foremost, I want to empower you. Maybe you believe this, maybe you don't. And if you don't, you're probably the person that wants to stay tuned and continue to listen to what it is that I have to say. And the first thing that I want to do is to tell you that you have this. Limitless potential. Most people, though, don't believe it. Most people believe that they're far less than what they are. And the reason for that are many. And so what I'm going to do is, if you are living a life that is less than what you really, really want, if you really are feeling that there is something that is holding you back, you know that you have potential, you know that there's something out there waiting for you. However, you're just having a really hard time figuring out how to move forward in that. And these are some of the reasons why we aren't able to unleash our full potential, why we're not able to live an extraordinary life, to prosper. Prosper means getting better and better all the time. And to live that abundant life that you really, really want and truly deserve. And I have found in my research throughout the years that it's not the most intelligent people in the world that realize their dreams and goals, that achieve their phenomenal successes. There are ordinary people achieving extraordinary things. Yet there are things that prevent you and I from doing that. And so I'm going to share some of those things with you right now. What are some of those things that hinder us? One of them is you get stuck. Why are you stuck? You don't know what you don't know. You're not clear. You're unfocused. And you're unproductive. So you might be busy shuffling papers. You might think that you're really busy because you're moving and you're doing. However, you're not succeeding. You're not succeeding. So one of the problems is you're stuck. Here's another problem. The problem is that you have stinking thinking. Stinking thinking is when you're full of these limiting beliefs, this inner programming that you had for a very, very long time. And one of those, there are many, one of those I find that most of my clients struggle with is that they have the not enough syndrome. There's something there that they feel they're not enough, right? They're not good enough. They're not smart enough. They're not talented enough. They're not rich enough. They're not, skinny enough, strong enough. There's just so many different not enough syndromes in there that we have, right? And then that holds you back, right? You're carving this neuro pathway that says, I'm just not enough. There's something missing. And what that is it's lack. We're looking at what we lack. We do comparison traps, and we look at what other people have that we don't have, and we now lack it. And of course we can't do that, right? And it's a lie. Here's another one. Thought traps. What are thought traps? Thought traps are people that have a tendency to generalize. We believe in the lies that we tell ourselves, right? Generalize can be things that we say, I always lose is one of them, or I always fail, or I never win, or I never succeed. And then the other one is the ever famous I am. Be careful, because I am, whatever you put after those two words is powerful, and you're stamping it. I am who I say I am, and so be it. It is, right? And so you have the I am syndrome in there. And when you get caught up in that I am late, I am busy, I am tired, your brain says, okay, you are. And how do you get out of that? Most of my clients don't know that they're stuck in those syndromes. Many times I will point it out to them in a coaching session. Did you hear what you just said? And they said, no. And then I'll repeat it and they'll say, I just said that. And I'll say, yeah, because it's now automatized after you've been saying it for a certain period of time, and it now becomes habitual. You don't even realize it. It just comes out. However, it's still an energy. It's still a behavior. It's still a behavior that is influencing an outcome, right? And it needs to change if you want to enjoy more success in your life, you know. And here's another problem, which a lot of my clients deal with. The problem is that many of them have a busy mind. And when they have a busy mind, they are task jumpers. They don't finish what it is that they start. I call them adrenaline seekers. And there's many reasons for that I teach them. One of them is some shortfalls in their brain waves, and I do sound therapy to be able to help with that. Another one of them is they just can't seem to shut their brain off. They're constantly thinking, right? They're thinking all the time. And so their mind races. And another thing that happens here is that they're easily overstimulated. A lot of times these individuals, they get around crowds and the busyness of the noises and the commotion and the movement, and then they get stressed out, right? Sometimes too much noise going on, and you're trying to learn or think or hear, and they have all of this loud piercing noises, and that it throws you off and overstimulates you and causes distraction. Another thing is many of my clients are empaths with busy minds, and that means that there's conflict or hostility, and there's a lot of emotional duress, and then the mind just really goes to town with all that kind of stuff. It feels uncomfortable, and then when it feels uncomfortable, it's overanalyzing all of the reasons why that happens. Another thing is they're easily bored. They have to constantly be moving, because when they don't move, they're not able to think, and there's an issue with the brain that happens with that, and I'm able to work with that and help them deal with that. And then that leads to they cannot relax. So they don't, when they sit down, a lot of times if they're not busy going and pumping all that adrenaline into their brain, and then they sit down and they relax, they slam dunk. People will say, slow down, take it easy. But they find that there's a shortfall in that, and then they aren't able to think as clearly and get things done as efficiently as they had hoped. That's why a lot of times they're late. A lot of times they're procrastinators, and they put things off until the very, very last minute. And when they do, it's all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I gotta go. And they don't realize it, but then boom, the adrenaline goes into the brain. And then when adrenaline is into the brain, they can think more clearly, and then they go like a bat out of hell, and then they're able to get a lot of things done. And they say, hey, that's okay, because that's how I function. I can get things done. Add 20 years onto your life down the line, and then watch to see if you've got, high blood pressure, and all sorts of these stress factors and medical issues that come about as a result of that. And insomnia is another issue of that, because you're just going and going. They'll find themselves being able to work, 16 hours in a day for many, many days, but then they crash and they burn, and eventually their body's shutting down. Some things they're really experiencing, the people are experiencing wear and tear on their body. Okay, here's another one, because it leads to that. Another thing that happens with this, trying to fit it all in on the camera here, okay? Bear with me here, right? This is my first experience at this. And it's stressed out, right? People get stressed out, and they don't know stress management techniques. They're not breathing. They're not really able to get those thoughts out of their mind, and then they get to be overwhelmed. They end up feeling very anxious. They have issues with anxiety, and then they're on anxiety medications. I've had a lot of clients that were able to get off of anxiety medication in my program. Even though I don't treat anxiety, I treat stress management. And it's phenomenal how much healthier my clients are. When you're stressed out, you have chronic worry, right? You're looking at the worst case scenario of everything, from the time you get up until the time you go to bed, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm a good person because I'm worried about those things, It's not true, right? You don't add a day to your life by worry. There's a whole different approach to be able to accomplish that same end result. Another thing that happens is that you end up being fearful, right? And studies reveal, majority of what you fear never even happens, yet you can caught up in that trap, and it becomes a habit, all right, that fear. And then again, sleeplessness. You end up just not getting really good sleep at night, and then the next day when you wake up, you might be a crabby butt, short-tempered, moody, reactive, because when you don't sleep, your hormones can get thrown off. Your thought processes, your memory fails. You're not able to recall information as well as you could, and you just get reactive and things like that. Here's another problem many of my clients deal with. It's called emotional distress. Emotional distress is a lot of the empaths that I work with. They wear their emotion on their sleeves, right? They have really great gifts when they have that kind of ability and skill. Yet if they don't know how to manage it, it works against them. So emotional distress is you have conflict in the mind. Many times I will hear my clients talk about, this is what I really want, and then they'll go, but, and then they have something in there that conflicts with it. And their mind says, make up your flippin' mind. What do you want? And a lot of times my clients don't catch themselves when they're dealing with that struggle. And I tell them, do you realize the inner conflict that you're dealing with right now? Your mind really doesn't know which direction to go. Most of my clients don't see it until I point it out to them. And it's a huge problem. Another thing that happens is that they have preoccupation with food, right? They have a tendency to have addictions, food addictions. They feel emotional and their weighty issues, and then they overeat. And sometimes it can lead to obesity as well. And that doesn't necessarily have to. They just feel overweight when they're dealing with weighty issues in their lives. Another problem is they have a lot of physical complications. They're dealing with feeling pain. I have many clients that go to physical therapy. They've gone to chiropractors and things like that, and they've taken them so far. And the missing link then is the emotions and the triggers that they have in their cells. And it's thought processes, and sometimes they need to work with energetic clearing and things that have happened in the past that now are triggers in their future. And we do some really good clearing of issues in that. Yes, I do hypnosis. And if you're a type of person that says, oh my gosh, I don't want Lori to get in my mind, I will tell you that most of my clients, once they work with me, they will say, man, let Lori get in your head, because once Lori's in your head, you don't ever want her to get out, right? Because what I do is really dehypnotize you and empower you and really, really, really strengthen you with a new belief system of enlightenment and trusting and believing in who you really are, which is absolutely amazing. You really, really are. And so I want to show you why you're so special and help you really take hold of that and believe it so that you can achieve your goals. Another thing that happens is that when you're dealing with emotional issues, you are reactive, angry, temperamental, right? Just very short with other people. And that's not uncommon at all. And when you learn stress management techniques and you learn why you think the way that you think and why it grows and gets worse if you don't know how to deal with it and utilize the tools or don't have the tools, which I give you, you can really, really be able to manage those things and get along much better in your relationships, especially the people that are closest to you. I mean, that's who we get most reactive with, don't we? And so we hurt the people that we love, ultimately. And then last but not least, there are some things that happen that we have, like this obsessive behavior. I've had people that have IBS. I don't know if you know what it is. Google search it, right? And the anxiety kinds of issues. And then when they learn how they are more emotional creatures and how they can deal with that to their advantage, their whole world turns around. I've had people double their income, and they've already been at 6-digit incomes. I've had, people in school and college. I've had them go from, dropping out of school to now getting straight A's. I mean, all sorts of things can function in your behalf much better when you learn those kinds of skills. And then you have your energy, you're not so tired anymore. And then one of the other things is that when you're emotionally reactive, your memory is shot. You forget what you were saying, and you bounce from one topic to another, and you don't really even realize eventually what that conversation was about. You ever notice that? Some person's arguing about something, and before you know it, you started here and then they go over here, and it's like what's the conversation about? All right, kind of throws you off. Another thing is here are the other problems that people deal with. What happens is their problems grow. All right, problems grow in their personal life. They can end up having issues like divorce, unfortunately, which is really not a good thing. So many other things happen in that in your personal life. Your of course, your health and just a lot of conflict in life. Your professional life goes downhill as well. It can be financially unsuccessful. You're not getting that promotion that you want. You don't have the confidence and trust that you really can succeed to the level that you want. Health. Lots and lots and lots of health issues happen with my clients as well when it gets to a very problematic level. Many of my clients have been going to doctors for years. They've done medication kinds of things, and they've been in pain and they can't get rid of it. And illness, disease, dis-ease, being ill at ease for way too long, right? I could go on and on about the big problems that happen there. It's very, very complicated. I have people that I can tell them if they have issues with their thyroid and in their throat. Big part of it is that they're not communicating their full truths. They might have communication issues, things like that. I mean, I go pretty in depth with a lot of things that I teach with my clients, and that is the direct result of ill health, not being able to handle certain things in your life. There's an association to life and organ problems, problems in your body. And then people just aren't happy. I have so many clients that will come in and they will say, Lori, I'm just not happy in my life anymore. I want to be happy and I'm not happy, And happiness, even though we know it's an inside job, they don't even know what makes them happy anymore. They don't know how to find that road. And so I can help them get to that place. They're usually very, very empty, feeling empty or isolated, silent sufferers, I often like to call them. And then we have lack of motivation, and they just don't have the energy or the desire or the ambitions to do anything, right? To move forward, to find that success. And what is the last one I wrote here? Sorry. Oh, prosperity, prosperity. They're not getting better and better in life. They're ending up getting more in debt, and some are bankrupt, and some are, they're just losing what it is that they have. All right. So they're going downhill, and that's a big part of having all of these problems. Okay. So how can I help? Can my program help with those issues? Absolutely. How can I help? Ultimately, what I help you is be more. Simply put, what's be more? I help you be more fulfilled, healthy, successful. Wouldn't that be nice, right? I also help you be more clear, focused. I help you be more confident. I help you be more in control. And I help you be more at peace with what's going on in your life. It's not like I all of a sudden teach you how to not ever have problems in this world, because this world is full of them and they don't go away. But what I do is I help you not have them be your best friend and not hang on to them and not feed them and have them be a barrier to you, right? I show you how to rise above them, rise above the challenges, rise above the adversity so that you can still be in the world, but you're not caught up in the world, so to speak. And so you're in a whole different plane of living above it and at a higher level. You really are more of your higher self when you rise above that. And I teach you how to be your highest self possible. And when I do that, that leads to living an empowered, an extraordinary life. And isn't that what we all want? And how do I do it? Well, I spent over 11 years creating my own program. Nobody taught it to me. I created it, and it's called the Rapid Results Coaching Program, and it works. And I have transformed thousands and thousands of lives through this program, and you could be next. So don't just take my word for it, right? I offer a no-cost phone consultation. So there's no risk. There's nothing really to lose and everything to gain. I'm sure you've heard that before. However, call me. Let me know that you want a consultation, or go on my website and contact us and contact Coach Lori. And what we will do is we will discuss what your issues are. And I will honestly tell you if I feel that I can help you with your issues. I will explain what the qualifications are of my program, because I don't let everybody in and go through it. Why, you know, I have things to, I just say I qualify my clients with that. I pre-qualify them. And if I feel that you're qualified for the program and I feel it's a good fit for you, then I'll tell you about the program. And then I'll leave the door open for you to ask me questions. And then, you know, that's it. And then you can decide if it's a fit for you or not. So really, there's no pressure. There's just information and there's a conversation. So seriously, if you're stuck or somebody you know is stuck and some of these things that I'm talking about here today fit them, then let today be the day that turns your life around. And why can I say that with all heart and all sincerity? Because in truth, I was the student first. Why do I know these things so well? Because I needed to go through them. I needed to heal me. I needed to fix my problems, and I needed to overcome those things that I put on those papers. And when I got on the other side of that, I will tell you there was no turning back. My life was never the same, and it keeps getting better and better and better all the time. And I would love yours to get better and better all the time too. This is Coach Lori with Mindscapes Unlimited Mind Coaching Center, and just wishing you a blessed day. And if I can help you, just let me know. Talk to you later.